Greetings. This is Old School Goldsmith. I'm your host, Gaia, and today we're going to be making this gold ring stainless steel and jade. First, we're going to cast an ingot of 14 karat white. There's the pour. Now we're going to roll it out just a little bit, just to get it used to the idea of going square. Then give it an anneal. Set it onto a block of steel. That will help let it cool slowly so it won't crack. Then work it down into a square and then roll it out sideways. We're going to a 9mm wide. This will be the inner sleeve of the stainless steel ring. Now we can roll it to length. There you have it, 9mm wide and long enough. Now we're going to mark this off and start at a 0 and go to number 9, which will create a size 9 that the customer desires. Put it on 0, mark 9. I use my millimeter gauge as a square and a scribe. After we've cut it off, now we're going to use our trademark stamp that was made in Switzerland, and this will be marked on inside of every ring and every piece of jewelry that Old School Goldsmith makes. This is like a signature for an artist. Afterwards is the Carat stamp. Using the half round pliers, we are going to round one half of the gold sleeve and then the other half of the gold sleeve to bring it together. And then turn it over and do the same. We'll create a round, perfect sleeve. Pull it up to the desired size till it opens. Tap it gently with a nylon hammer. Both sides. This will make it even. Take a half round ring file, cut number 2, and square up the ends. With your fingers, gently move it into place. Less is more. There we go. Now we're ready to solder. Putting the flux on both sides is crucial. Cutting a piece of hard white gold solder the length of the seam. Oops, dropped. There it is. Put it in the seam, grab your soldering pick. Heat the ring up slowly and evenly so it doesn't open. And you can also anneal the ring at the same time to keep it from opening more. Heating it up slowly so it doesn't go into a ball, the solder stays flat. Examine the inside to see if the solder has flowed. Not enough, so let's pull the solder through with the pick. Heating it up and gently massaging the solder from the inside. Examine. No, it didn't solder. So do it again. And voila. Solder pull through. This is a very strong seam, ready to go to the next phase. Pickle that, go to your Kagan ring stretcher and bring it up to the exact size 9, perfectly round. This customer desires a Imperial Jade, so we're going to, with the Diamond Pacific Genie, trim it down into her, with the form that she likes. Afterwards, we're going to prepare the rails. This is by starting and working this square wire down to a 2 by 2 millimeter square. Now bring this down to the desired thickness. We're looking for a 1 by 2.5 millimeter. And there you have it, 2.5 by 1 millimeter. Roll the entire piece out. Now we're going to forge the stainless steel. One of the many secrets involved in this process that I've learned in Switzerland. You take a gas and oxygen torch, heating up the stainless steel 1 millimeter plate, and then forging the carbon into the steel for a very long lasting patina. The stainless steel gets cut and ground to fit, then taking the stainless to create the opening and the dimension for the jade. With your pliers, half rounds, go in and close this up. Be careful not to damage the steel. It is very delicate at this point. Slowly. Opening to fit the sleeve, a little bit smaller then. Tapping it round with a nylon hammer. Insert the sleeve to look at the fit. And now this opening will be trimmed and trued, ready to fit this shape. And that will be the sides rails. Now the steel wants to act like a spring and pull apart, pull open. So with some simple wire, make a band, a retainer. This will hold it in place during the soldering process. Soldering these two together, you can use silver solder, or I use a paste solder that has silver impregnated in it. This will give it a bond that will hold the inner sleeve to the outer inlay piece while it is being worked on to put the rails together. Try to keep the solder off of the steel. It's a little messy, but it does the job. Pickle that, and with a 2/0 saw blade, cut the excess gold away from the stainless steel sleeve. With a old file, cut number 2 half round ring, you can file the gold down to the stainless steel. This will collect your gold and also make a flat surface with the rails. The rails are 2.5 millimeter by 1 millimeter, a bit awkward to bend. Bring one side into the other, rounding them both together. Make it smaller than the ring so it can be tapped up with a hammer to one size smaller than the ring. This will be a size 8 since the ring is a size 9. Tapping around, cutting, soldering this piece, hammering it flat, and then applying the generous amount of easy white gold solder, fluxing both sides of the ring. And carefully, with tweezers, set it down on top of the solder pieces. Now apply solder pieces to the top and move the seam so it's not on the center of the stone. So it's down the shank so you don't see it as much if it has an opening it anyway. Okay, this is the most challenging part of the process, where we're going to bring all of these 3 pieces, actually 4 pieces, together. As we know that the center of the charcoal underneath the ring is the coldest point, so we want to bring the temperature up slowly around the block, heating it up slowly so the ring will have time to absorb the heat. Now try to place the rails as best you can, as close as you can, without making it fall apart. And as it comes up to temperature, it has a tendency to stick, to make it even more challenging. Okay, so the bottom rail is not cooperating. This has a large taper, which will make matters worse. So, to move the bottom rail, you can push the ring back and lift the ring up and heat, and it will fall 1/4 of a millimeter into place. Now give this a little squeeze there, bring that together, and I feel comfortable that this is all in place. Now I can add the amount of heat to marry this all together. Afterwards, pickle, file the outside rails, file the inside rails, sanding, filing, using the saw to score in between the steel and the gold. Now after that we can polish it. I use a bit of leather to protect my fingers from the heat, a little old school trick. And then polish to a mirror, polish on the inside. The lap is a hard piece of felt that I shape with a bit of sandpaper, rough sandpaper. Using my 4x white diamond compound, I will lap the all flat edges, flat surfaces to create a very professional look. Afterwards, with a buff to round it off and take out any extra scratches left over. Then to the rouge. This will give it its final luster. I use old school toothbrush to protect the patina pine saw. A small round ball burr will clean up any extra solder and make the opening ready and perfect for the jade. This jade will be set underneath the steel. I left an opening in the steel, and now I'll shape the stone and shape the metal so it will fit underneath. And there you have it, a wonderful stainless steel and gold jade ring. Hope you enjoy.